Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Henry's Every Angle podcast. Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe and share if you enjoy gaining this content. Today, I will allow my guest to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm college student in UNH and with psychology major and might be picking up minoring either in finance or education. Yeah, I'm from New Hampshire, 22 years old. Did I say that part already? But yeah, thank you for having me. I've been waiting for this for a while, honestly. So yeah, thank you for having me over.
Yeah, absolutely, man. A little bit of background is we actually served in the same unit together. He was not underneath me, he was in a different section, but that's how we came across each other. And he knew that I wanted to do this for probably about a year now, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I always thought he had an interesting background. One of the things he didn't bring up was the fact that he was actually not born and raised in New Hampshire. Since he's been in the United States, he's been in New Hampshire, though he is originally from Vietnam. He lived there till the age of 16, and that is when he transitioned over to the United States. And one of the questions I would like to ask is, how was that when you originally got here?
Yeah, it's actually so funny when you bring up because Thanksgiving was on Thursday, and I went over to my friend's house um, for Thanksgiving, which I do every year because my family doesn't really celebrate Thanksgiving. And then one of the questions I got asked from her mom, was like, "Oh yeah, she thought I was born here," and she was like, "Kevin, were you born here?" And I was like, "Well, I was moved here when I was 16." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just like because like." The reason why I kind of in like fluent in English because I back in Vietnam, back in that sounds so old, but yeah, when I was in Vietnam, and then like the mandatory to take because English is mandatory second language in Vietnam, you have to take it when you in third grade. So that's when we have to take it. So that's how I learned English. But
Now,
yeah, back to your question.
did
Sorry, go
they
ahead.
have? No, no, no. You're good. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're
Um,
good.
because I know here in the United States, the public school system sucks when it comes to learning another language, and they
Mhm.
typically base it only off of English. Um,
Yes.
within every school zone, was that always the case that you had to learn English around third grade?
Yeah, so in Vietnam, it's mandatory to learn English. When I don't know if it's probably changed by now. But back in when I was in very young, mandatory learning English was on third grade. But because we have a thing called after school classes, so technically I started learning English when I finished my set. Well, around like the moment I finished my second grade, that summer is when I started learning English. So yeah.
Just to like get ahead.
It's always good to get ahead some in like especially like in foreign language and stuff. And yeah.
Okay. I
Mhm.
guess we'll come back to the original question. How was it when you transitioned over here?
It was
And did you
crazy.
have family here?
Yeah, so when my aunt family was here like a while before. So funny story. I don't know if I told you about my like moving to America like story. So I was in sophomore year of high school in Vietnam. So um we yeah, we finished school on Friday, and then Monday I'm here. So, um, and then
You go straight to school?
oh yeah, I go. Well, technically, to be here, to be fair, I got here and then I need a while like 2 week ish to like getting the school application and then so when I was here on Monday, it was April Fool's Day, and I tell my friend from Vietnam that I'm in Boston. They don't believe me until like 3 weeks later. They was like, "You disappear. Where are you?" And I was like, I am like 1,000 miles away. I was not kidding when I said I'm in Boston. But yeah, that my coming to America story. Honestly, moving here because I fortunate enough to like adopting like to like kind of like how, what's the word like meet up with like the scenario or like the environment back in Vietnam because I love Disney Channel. Like that's all I watch every single day is Disney Channel. And then like back in the time about like the 2000, it was like Hannah Montana, like Wizard Blade, all about like high school scenario technically. And the high
Like
school musical.
Zoe 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. So I kind of like imagine a little bit ish about like, oh yeah, like what school in America it's gonna look like and stuff. So I kind of like fortunate enough to like
You
learning.
created this thing within your head of what America is like.
Yes. So when I moved here, it's a little bit like that, but it's like, I would say it's a little bit like that, but it's probably depending on like different state too. So, but when I moved here, it's kind of like what I imagined it would be, but it's a little bit rough because like even my English at that time was very good. I still having like trouble in like communicating, and then like like the slang, like the
Oh
like
yeah.
the teenager lingo's here, you know.
And you know more about them teenager langos now more than I do.
Oh yeah, yeah, trust me.
You're
I'm taking
that's
the
why
oldest one.
you're
My
getting a
friend.
master's in it.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I should have went as English major. Am I right? Like that's crazy. Um, but yeah, so even though like, and then one of the thing when I moved here is like hardest thing the roughest thing that I found was like back in high school is at lunchtime, because when I first moved here, I know no one, and then my cousin he has a different lunch schedule with me, and I was like, okay, there's lunchtime kind of rough right now because I don't know who to sit with, so I'm just like sitting with my all my classmates, and I don't even know my classmates because this is literally like the first week I moved to school, but I fit in easily. So the way the way that I make myself to fit in is to become a band kid, because like as a band kid, you get so close with like all of your bandmates, and
Yeah,
so I joined like.
you were trying to find a clique to get in.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I joined band, even though I don't even know how to read notes. But I joined band. That's when I met my super best friend until now, and then like I'm so close to her family. Like her family, one of like the nicest people I ever met.
Good.
So yeah, so I joined band, and that's how I learned to like fit in more with like the culture I have now, because I have like even though like I kind of like experience like the culture back in Vietnam a little bit, but it's still there are a lot of questions that need to be asked, and then like they help me out a lot with like all the culture, and yeah, and honestly like I would say like I am more in the luck of fitting in fast with the environment here than like most of the people who's moved to America.
So you didn't get too much like racism or anything like that when you got here, or do you find that people had more curiosity in you because you were abnormal, you were different?
So I would say more curiosity because I haven't got any like back in high school. At least like people was like very respectful. Like it's just like because for me is I know my places. So and then if I feel like okay like this is not my type of places I want to be, that I don't really associate with that places. Like in high school they have like the cool kid, the jocks, the emos,
Oh
like
yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
The band
You
kid, and I was like, oh sorry, go ahead.
no, no, no. I was agreeing, and just basically it's on the lines of like even though you are not from here, you
Mm-hmm.
still adapted the exact same way as if you were from here. I mean, it's not a
Mm-hmm.
matter of racism or different kind of like ethnic groups or anything like that. It's just a matter of who you prefer to be around.
True. Like for me, instead of like trying to like fit in into the places I feel like they make me feel uncomfortable. Like if I would rather to fit I would rather spend my time in places I feel more comfortable with because as the people who's coming to like a different, like a totally different like culture and totally different environment, like it's always better, from my opinion, it's always better to start at the place where you feel comfortable with, and then like when you want to feel adventurous, it's never too late to like, it's never too late to like reach out, you know?
Now, did you ever have any fear with this transition?
So before moving to America, like I actually was like, it's not really about fear. It's just really about like very sad. How like I'm gonna like leave one of my friends here. Like I'm gonna start missing all my friends because I have like a group of like very nice friends, which back in Vietnam, and then like I went back to Vietnam about last year for my brother' wedding, and I still hanging out with them. And then that reason, that one other thing that I miss because like I make so much friend there, even that my childhood friend too. And now I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna move to a new place. Like it's not just like I can just go back to Vietnam regularly, and then I won't able to see them that much. And then
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not like you're walking 10 minutes down the road and they're there or
it's not
anything
like
like
a
that.
swimming distance. It was like flying distance actually.
So that was the hardest part. It wasn't even a matter of transitioning to the United States, it was a matter
Mhm.
of leaving behind everyone.
True, like for me, when I leave, even like some of the job when I left, like the thing that I would miss most about is the people, even from the army. Like when I left the army, like I was like, oh my God, like I want to miss these people because like some of the places some of the places you will be in, or you work in, or like some of the job that you did will be sucks, like will be rough, but it's the people who make it better, and that will be the thing that you miss the most is the memory of them. And
Oh,
then
one,
I,
yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, I'm just agreeing. I'm
yes,
verbally talking out loud my feelings of how much I can relate and understand. The term
hmm
is I do not miss the circus, I miss the
hmm
clowns.
I miss the monkeys, yes.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah, like for me, like I hate leaving memories behind. Like when I make memories with someone, I treasure it a lot. So now, like moving to America, it's technically in somewhat kind of way, it's forcing me to like leave my memories behind. Like that feelings kind of suck. I don't know about you, but that feeling for me, it's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, one of the hardest thing is like leaving like all the memories behind, and now you're gonna have to start making a new one to replace those memories,
Right.
technically. So yeah.
Um, so I guess to wrap up my original question, you didn't really have you didn't really have a hard transition when you came to the United States.
hmm
It was more on the lines of even if you were to be switching from one high school to another high school, you would have had the exact same experience.
Yes. So the reason why reason why I like teach myself to like adopt into like I have to adapt into like the environment so fast because I actually back in middle school, um, so around seventh grade-ish, my mom decided to uh move me into. So I used to be going to like a public school, middle school, and then like my mom decided to move me to a private school just to test out the water, you know. And then like I back when I was like that young, like I couldn't like be able to, and I never moved into like different kind of environment before. So when I moved into a different environment, I didn't really have the skill to fit in that environment, and it ended up badly for me. So and then we moved back to the middle school, like the middle public school. So since then, I kind of like teach myself like to be more adaptive in like fitting in the new environment, just to help myself out better. Like like just to more of like protecting like all my feelings and all of my mental and all my sanity, technically.
So, so with learning how to be able to transition from one area to another area, what would you tell
hmm
the audience for those who have never really even left their own hometown? Because I know, like personally, obviously, I've moved quite a few times, but if I would have never left Lancaster, New Hampshire, It would have been a
Mhm.
very scary thing to go somewhere else when you only knew
Yeah.
one thing. So for those who wish to venture out and go somewhere else and never have done it, what would you have to say to them?
So, speaking from my own experience, like when you move, it will be scary because you could never know. Like, it's technically moving to somewhere else, and the experience will you have is technically unknown and you will scary. But I would say is um, try your best to be yourself. Like, because if you be yourself, and then there will be other people who have the same like situation you're in, or who have the same like matching with your vibe, would like
Yeah,
will come to you, because like if you try to like force yourself so hard just to fit in with the situation that or environment that you're in, you're gonna feel lost, and at the same time you're gonna feel like it's you will be constantly like, okay, I hate doing this. Like, why do I have to fit in into this situation that I don't want to? Like, you will be constantly regretting your decision to move. Like, make when you move, like first thing you have to do is like be comfortable. Like, make yourself feel comfortable first, and then like things will working out by itself, as all things should. And then like when you're ready to be adventurous, then you can do something that out of your league. Like for me, like when I never thought that I would be like playing an instrument ever. Well,
right.
before, until like when I got in here, like I was like, okay, like I have to make myself comfy. Like I make most the very some of the first of my friends I made was from my ESL class, because like we all have the same thing. Is that we English our second language is most of my friends come from. And then like when I was like, okay, like I'm actually feeling comfy now. I kind of want to go for something more adventurous. So I decided to join the band because I just like want to test on the water to see like how to like it, and then I end up loving it. Like end up like getting a new skill, like end up meeting more great people. So I would say it will work out eventually. Just don't push it.
Don't
Like
push
when you,
it,
mm-hmm,
but I guess one of the other things I could take in from what you're saying is don't be afraid to find something that you may not be able to click in.
yes. So like when you feel like your institution or like your body will let you know when you're ready to go out for a new thing.
I think
And
when
some,
I,
mm-hmm,
I was going to say, I think when I initially came down here, I was alone for quite a few months. I made like a couple friends, but they weren't truly close friends. Luckily, when I first moved here, I had my childhood best friend, so that
mm-hmm,
made a load of difference.
mm-hmm,
But I definitely found myself around people only because of alcohol as well, alcohol
mm,
related. But I mean, that's not really an uncommon thing for a 19-year-old at the time either.
that's
So,
true. Like, you
oh,
know what I say? Sorry.
no, I was. It's just that. I mean, most of the friends I made at that time, I'm still extremely great friends with today.
Mm-hmm.
Though alcohol was definitely a gateway into meeting people at that time.
Mm,
It's not like I was in high school.
mm-hmm. I mean, like, you know what I say? People knows people. So when you know someone, you will, in somewhat kind of way, you will know other people.
Oh yeah,
So, so it's crazy. Like if you look into it, because until now, a lot of people, especially for my friend Becca, who's also my best friend from college, sister. She so because I mean Becca hang out when I hang out with my best friend, and then they and then her friend is like, oh my God, you know Kevin? And she was like, yeah. And they was like, oh yeah, we know Kevin. It just like the circle of like friend will grow, even though you don't even know about it. Like there will be people know about you. What if you know if you meet more people, like that's like people knows people, and then that's actually like one of the things that's like for you to, especially when you move, it's like just like if like honestly like meet someone with like they people who's with your vibe will become your friend, and then you would know more about like the people around like community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a matter of like a circle. Even though you may not know everyone in that circle, if
Mm-hmm.
you're if you have this kind of certain personality and you
Mm-hmm.
end up meeting someone else who also has that kind of personality, there's a good
Yes.
chance you may already know their friend and just never met
Hmm.
them before.
That's true.
That's considered the small world saying.
It's small world after all.
Yeah. So, why did you end up coming to the United States?
So, it's really like if I'm being straight up, it's really on my mom's decision when she want to move us here. So, if I recall the story the correct way, she like like the application to get approved to like get a visa for the United States back in the time was like so long. Like because she told me, if I'm not wrong, she told me that like she put the application for all like for visa for all my siblings when I was like 1 years old, which is like what back in 2002. And then for my sister who was born in 2003, she put in around like 2004 or five. Like it was taking that long to get approved for visa. And then like and also like I believe like my mom wants to move here because she wants us to have a better future, better life. Like back in the day, you know what? Yeah, still now too. You know what they call like America is a dreamland because that's where all your dreams come to. So she wants to have our dream come true when we grow up. So
But
yeah,
it
it
took 15 years to do it.
it took the fucking 15 years. Yes,
Jesus
it
Christ.
take a fucking long time. Um, but yeah, like you know, the thing take a while, and now I'm here. And then honestly, like I'm actually some in some kind of way very grateful that I'm here because I know that a lot of people couldn't even make it here. You know,
Right.
they tried to get to America, and I that some of them like couldn't even make it here. And then like I think about that, like make me feel like honestly, I'm feeling grateful that I'm in this country, that I'm like actually have my mind, my vision more open because like coming into honestly like coming from two different cultures, like you learn so much stuff about other culture and then the culture you're in now, and which is like open your mind. Like honestly, like I don't even think ever in my entire life that I would be like a psychology major be- until I moved to America, and then like I actually got a chance to like learn about psychology, and then I eventually fall in love with it. But
Um,
mhm,
so I'm guessing that was kind of an influence for you, though, because of the culture difference between the things that you used to do over in Vietnam, and then you come over here and you see the difference between the
mhm,
two, and you see the different styles, the different uptakes, the different way people approach different aspects of life. It
mhm,
kind of influenced you into wanting to learn more within
sure,
that field.
mhm, like you know, like living is learning. Like I might be sound like crazy or sound dumb, but living is learning, and then like the more you learn, the more you living. Like if honestly, like for me, like if I think about like if I stay in just in Vietnam culture, like I would never really got a chance to actually learn what I've been doing here. Like
Right.
I never thought I would join the military. Never thought I would be like doing this. I never thought I would be doing that, all that stuff. Like like moving here is rough, but it's all about like what can you learn from it, and what can like what are the skills that would take you to for you to learn with it, and then
Um,
like
no, go on.
oh no, that's all I have technically.
Okay. So, also with everything you said, what would your response be to those who say that America is not? the land of opportunity?
So, hmm, good question actually. So for me, opportunity is you create yourself. So opportunity from my own like perspective is
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
um, opportunity is not just there for you. Like it doesn't even like it doesn't just exist before for you. Like you have to technically work for it to get that to have that opportunity. So when I feel like before people realize their opportunity because they haven't really got a chance to submerge in that in the experience that they're gonna be working on. So they don't really see the opportunity there. But the moment you work hard for it, the moment you work for it, the moment you learn from it, you will see more of the opportunity. It's like technically it's good it can be opportunity can be everywhere, but it's really depending on you to see it or not. Like if you don't really work for it, you're just laying around and don't really work for it, you won't see it until you actually experience and work for it. If you know what I mean.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the first week of trying to get this all together, not
Mm-hmm.
a penny went into my name. In fact, I spent money just to get this stuff to go on, and
Mm-hmm.
I put about anywhere probably 40 to 55 hours in
Mm-hmm.
1 week, and that's not even including the schoolwork I had to do,
Mm-hmm.
just to try to get everything set up, put together, send messages out, try to talk to people, get feedback.
Yes.
Um, but the opportunity was there.
Yeah.
I worked for it, and
Mm-hmm.
we have good internet, so why not
True.
use it?
Like if you honestly like if you just bought the like or if you have like for example like you can have all the best equipment, but if you don't use you can have all the best equipment, but if you don't use it, then it won't do any work technically. Like
It's not
so,
going to
like
run itself.
yeah, like you have to work for it, and then since then, like there will when you work for it, you will see the potential of everything that you do, and then that's where all the opportunity will happen, technically.
Now, the opportunities you've had here in the United States, do you think you would have the same opportunity over in Vietnam, or how different would it be?
To be fair, like comparing to culture, yes, I would say I would have the opportunity in Vietnam, but in a very, very different way.
Could you speak more
Like,
on that?
yeah, so like I said, like take an example, take psychology, my major right now. So if I'm in Vietnam, I would be in a very different probably major like in. So for me growing up, I was like one of the kids who was like if your parents gonna ask like, oh yeah, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I always be like, I don't know, like I don't know, like time will tell me. Right now, I don't know. So I feel like if I'm in Vietnam, um, I would have a very different path that I'm going like now than America because I would have like every culture have their different approach.
Right.
So so back like if I'm staying only staying in Vietnam for culture, if I'm only staying in Vietnam without moving to America, like I won't have the path that I'm approach will be completely different from the path that I'm having now. So um so it would honestly I can't imagine it would be completely different. Like
Do you think you
um
would have less opportunity?
um I would say no because like
It's still the work you put in.
it still have to be the work that I put in. Like working hard is one of the things that my parents has been like growing up like teaching me. So like and I'm honestly like like I consider myself not very good at like being like a school, like school student. I refer hands-on training. So like without the major like for right now from psychology major, I try my best to take on like all my like class that require hand-on training than just like book. like knowledge technically, even though like psychology is reading a lot of books. But back in Vietnam, I would say back in Vietnam, I would go for more something that is more hands-on training, like like actually growing up. There was a time I'm really into like interior design, like even now, like I like to like I really love to like design, like decorate my room. So I would say, like, if I'm staying in Vietnam, I would be more in like interior design
Do you like
because,
my background?
yeah, very nice, very rustic, very straight guys vibe.
I just figured I'd throw that out there and ask.
There is my background right now. Like, I put them
Nice.
all myself. This whole room I paint by myself. But yeah, and honestly, a put opportunity is to grow as well because back so oh my God. I just hate the word like back in my time because it just makes me feel like I'm too old. I'm only 23, but still like back in my time, um, psychology was not a thing. It's there. It just does not mention as the important thing that is like in around the student. Like,
I can relate to that because I
hmm
growing up in Lancaster, New Hampshire, psychology was not really a thing. Like you've heard the term therapist, but you've never seen one a day in your life.
true.
Um, unless it was in a hospital setting, and then that's not a therapist, it's probably a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
As well, they weren't there all the time. They went there like maybe once every 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Along with that, everyone had blue collared work. I mean, my dad
Yes.
was an electrician. There's carpenters. My dad grew up in working in a paper mill,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember talking to my grandfather when he asked me, "What are you going to school for?" I said psychology, and he's psychology. What are you going to do with that? He's
Oh
like,
my God.
we had a psychiatrist in the paper mill, and he's like, you know what they did? I was like, talk to people. He's like, no, he did the same thing. He just made paper. He's like, why are you in Earth are you going in for psychology?
Honestly, like I am so related to you because that's when I declared my major in psychology. My mom literally be like, "What are you gonna do with like psychology major?" And I was like, to cure this family childhood drama."
Yeah, well, that was the next question I was going to ask him, so we could get right into it. So you're a student for a psychology major. Both of
Hmm.
your parents are blue collared workers, right?
Yes.
What did they do? And
So,
then go
mhm.
back to what you were about to say along the lines of when you told them what you wanted to do in school.
Yeah. So, back in Vietnam, my dad was like electrician. Like he fixed most of like he fixed like
Your dad?
refrigerator. My dad, yeah.
Ha! Funny. Me.
Haha. So my dad's fixed like refrigerator, washing machine, AC, all that stuff. My mom is like his supplier. So my mom bought like all the part that was needed for him to fix.
Logistics.
Yeah, technically. So like yeah, so blue collar. Growing up as a blue collar, like no one, I don't think like no one like even my family was like not like we never even like know this word psychology exists until I declare as my major. Literally. Until I moved here and declared my major when I was like senior year of high school. Like no one know about it until I bring it out.
Now, my other question, though, is just trying to do the math a little bit. You joined the Army when you were 19? I'm taking a guess? Or were you 18?
19, yeah. I remember being shipped out to basic training 5 days after my birthday.
And you went to college when you were 18?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously, I know going to school, like, you take psychology 101 and you're like, this is the greatest thing ever, and it's nowhere even close to anything. It is so basic information.
It's
But
great.
going from Vietnam to America in
Hmm.
school, high school America for 2 years, going into the college culture, let
Hmm.
alone going in for psychology, and then going into the military, how much of a shock was that? Because that is a lot within a 4 year period.
A shock is in the culture shock, or
Yeah, 16, you're in Vietnam, 16, you're in the United States through in high school, 18, you go to college, 19, you go to basic training. So, I'm sorry, it's a 3 year gap. Um, So, how different was that, and was it what you were expecting? And how were you able to handle it, let alone possibly take resilience that you might have had through the change to go into basic training?
it's
I know
actually
that's a lot. I'm sorry.
it. No, it's that. No, I'm just trying my best to like uh s- take everything in together. So college is I've been always wanting to go to college because I want to experience like the American college life. So and then my mom very supportive of me going to college because she was like, yeah, if technically technically if she was like if technically she's like, oh yeah, if you don't go to college, I will kick you out technically. So I have no choice. So and then
Either go to college or get out.
yeah,
I like
literally
it.
yeah, she was like, if you don't go to college, okay, all right. Um, and then so join the military is so funny because I'm the first one in my family try to go to college. So and then like because like and then I don't know how to like looking up for scholarship and then like I don't know how to like oh like where's like where can I get the money and stuff and from. So the reason why I joined the military because I want to help my parents out with the money and it just make them it just have them like less weight on their shoulder to like pay
Right.
for my college. So I actually, because my parents like they was so against me of joining the military. Like they was like, oh my god, yeah, you join military, you die. Yeah, 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 yeah. Which is until now some of the stuff I heard from like all my other some of the stuff I heard from like the people I talk to, the people I know who I know, the people who's like immigrants here, most of is like, oh yeah, they very freak out joining military because they think that they're gonna send to war and stuff. And I was like, well, yes and no. It's depending on the time. I joined the military behind my parents' back. I kid you not.
Nice. Yes.
I kid you not. I was like one day, and I was like there was like an like used to be like a national like a recruiter office like right down the road from me, and I was like, and I was they just sitting in my bed, and I was like, no, all right, I need something to do with my life, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I would like I was thinking about joining the army or like doing RTC, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try the army just to get like the benefit out of it. So I joined it behind my parents' back, and I keep it as a secret until my first drill in Stratford.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, until the first drill in
Um,
Stratford.
Actually, go a little bit deeper into that because a lot of
Yes,
the audience may not know what we're
yes.
talking about.
So the the joining behind
Before,
my
yeah,
parents' back.
no, before basic training, what the National Guard does with those who join and waiting to go to basic.
Ah, yes. Okay. So before you go to basic training, um, so I'm in the Air Force now, but I'm still gonna talk about it since I'm experienced in the Army. But before you go basic training, so apparently you will go to this drill in this place where they're gonna like let
Teach
you
you.
know all. Yeah, they're gonna teach you how to like all the regulation, what you'll be expecting from basic training, like the uniform and all like like the stand, how you say it, the attention, the
Standards,
like yeah the
standing at
standards,
attention,
yeah and
different
stuff. Mm-hmm.
workouts you'll be doing,
Yeah, and then
land nav.
mm-hmm. I actually didn't do land app because of COVID. I was so pissed though. Um,
That
yeah, and
makes
then oh,
no sense. You're as much isolated doing land nav, but they won't do land nav because of COVID.
honestly, I love doing land app so much. I can just like go out of like butt fuck nowhere and just like fucking around with my friends, and then like wait to the end of the day and just go back. Um, but yeah, Yeah, so they would teach you all those stuff and then what you should be expecting in basic training so that you won't be like go to basic training with knowing nothing. Because if you go to basic training with knowing nothing, your life can be living hell. Like I kid you not, your life will be a living hell because like you like if you cannot adjust the rank like the correct way or you if you like
Yeah.
straight up like saying dumb shit, you will get smoked and
Luckily,
smoking.
I went to JROTC for 4 years in high school,
Mm-hmm.
so I got to enter as a PFC,
Nice.
and I definitely already knew most of the stuff that they taught in basic training already.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I didn't even know anything about that until I go to the first drill, and then I was like kind of shocked. I was expecting it's gonna be like chaotic, but I was like, okay, actually finally happening, and then like you like when you expect something, it's like okay, it's gonna be rough, but then it's actually happened. You still have the shock out of it. That's what I feel like. So yeah, and then like honestly, like it's so funny because I enlist in February. We have drill in March, April, and May is when I ship out. So I have like drill. So but yes, honestly, they will set you up for success technically, hopefully. Um, and then they will let you know like what they will let you what know what to expect in basic training.
Right. Now, how did your parents take it the moment they found out?
They was like crying when they was driving me to drill, and they was like crying, and I was like, "Mom, like I'm going to drill like half an hour away. It's not like I'm dying or something." Oh, even worse, like when and then I didn't tell them the day that I go for basic training until like my birthday came. And then like my sergeant from the recruiting office come pick me up for like basic training, and I was like, and my mom, my sister was there, and then like, my mom was crying, and then my mom was start crying, and I was like, Mom, I'll see you in like 6 months. You should be fine. It's not even 6 months. It's technically 4 months and a half, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, and then apparently like while I was going to basic training, like my mom and my dad cried a lot because they said that like they couldn't help me out. Like they was like low key blaming themselves for like being like one of the reason why I joined military. Like it was sad. It was I
When
kid you not, it was
realistically, you just didn't want to be a financial burden to them.
true. Like it's just like as like Asian parents, especially like, Asian in the culture, like they want to like not really the old culture, but technically most of the parents they want you to have the best thing. So as the parents who from older culture in Vietnam, they think that joining military is gonna it's kind of a bad thing because like it's either you're gonna die or either you're gonna go like missing in action some shit like that because back up because like they still have like the uh the memory back from the war.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were so they for my parents like they
It was a big deal to them.
yeah, like it is like war is a big deal for everyone, and then especially like it's leave a lot of stuff on people's mind until now. So
Now, how
when
old are
from
your parents?
um
Because
my
you
mom
said you're relating back for them.
yes, so my
So,
mom
does.
oh sorry, go ahead.
I guess my question is, were they alive during the Vietnam War?
So they was not well. While my mom was born in 73, my dad was born in 70. So there was still like a little bit of war going on that time. 1975 is like was it 1945, 1975? I'm so bad at history, but they heard a lot of stories from their older generation
I was going
from
to
the
say your grandparents.
yeah. So a lot of stories, and then like they kind of witnessed stuff before technically. So like and that's kind of fear is like they will fear that like that will happen to their kid, and so that's one of the fear that like most of the immigrants when they move here is like honestly like for me even with my friends who was like all my like employees who's like working in my family restaurant now they was like oh yeah like what should I do what should I get to, like what should I do to like to get more money for college and I was like just join the military just join the military and then when I tell that that parent will be freak out. Like
Oh,
one of the
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, one of the employee who I tell to like join the military, like her, like his mom, is like freak out at me, and she was like, "No, like my son's gonna die." Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's up, and then like, and I was like, "Wow, do I look dead to you? Maybe inside, but do I look dead outside to you? Like what?" And I was like, "It's just like people will scare of like the thing happen tomorrow, or like
Right.
and no." That's the unknown. Like join the military, you will not you don't because you haven't got a chance to experience it. You that will be the unknown for you, and they scare the unknown. So like the moment it's just like when you actually experience it, at the end of the day, you look back, you be like, okay, it's actually not bad. Like it's kind of suck at first, but then like it's actually works out. Like it's actually not too bad.
You embrace the suck.
Yeah, like my way, hard way. Like suck to suck, buddy. But what can you do?
Um, I want to go back a little bit.
Hmm.
Do you recall your grandparents ever telling you anything about the Vietnam War on their
Uh,
intake? Because that would definitely be interesting to talk about.
yeah. So a lot of bombing, a lot of people dying, a lot of evacuating, a lot of be like, oh yeah, my neighbor died. Yeah, yeah, and then these people die in this way. These people a lot. When I grow up, like there was a lot of that, like telling to me, and I was like, okay, sweet. Like, thank you so much for traumatizing me when I was like 3 years old. Like a lot. Thank you. But yeah,
So it made a lot of a difference then for you.
but
The,
yeah, so they did have a lot of reference on that because it's either they find it out themselves or they hear people who they know telling back the story.
right.
And yeah, like and yeah, that is like the story about military I growing up to is like all of these stuff happen and stuff like that. So there was fear in those story. So when and then like when you listen to like story when you keep like it's like listen to ghost story like you listen to so many ghost story there will be fear in yourself like when you listen to so many horror story there will be fear in yourself that and you will think that will happen to you or someone else you love so that was the reason why it's hard for a lot of immigrants to actually make a decision to join the from my opinion it's like it's hard for like a lot of immigrants from like making a decision to join the military because they fear of those story actually maybe happen true. Like
As
I'm true.
it's it's one of those things, and this is just me from my own perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we've had war against another country within our own country.
Mm.
War was brought upon your country, and that is what is truly surrounded by it. For us, I mean, we had 9/11 happen. That was my generation. I
Mm-hmm.
joined the military and wanted to join the military because of 9/11.
Yeah.
2013, we had the Boston Marathon bombing. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, active terrorism was occurring during my generation in my country, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not like we were shooting each other within my country. For us,
Yes.
it was a matter of joining the military out of retaliation to go defend our country. For
Yes.
you, within your family and those around you and the immigrants that you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
they articulate the idea of joining the military within fighting a war within their own country.
Yes. Well, yes and no. Sorry, can you repeat that question real quick? I'm like zone out for
I
like
don't
two
think
seconds.
I even put a question into it. It was kind of more of a statement. Um,
Yeah. Um. Honestly, if I'm like, if I, sorry, my brain just like
you're
froze
fine.
for
You're
two
fine.
seconds.
If you
For
want me
me,
to
like,
edit, if you want me to edit out your brain fog, I
yeah,
can
can
do
you
that.
like make it say it in basic English?
Um,
Um.
but yeah, that just articulating joining the military is surrounded not typically for defending your country, but it represents death upon oneself.
Yes, that actually that's actually like a very nice statement actually. Um, so for my I don't even know if that's just from my experience, but from my opinions. So for them, as long as the kid's alive, it's a better future
Right.
for them. So when they think about joining military, they would think about like the um what's it called, the percentage of like the kid might be go missing or might be dead. It just like bring that fears into them because like for my mom, she always tell me that like yeah, like I raised you up like this long already. Like how could I like lose you? It's just like when you, for example, if you have a cat or a dog, and then that dog that cat been with you for like 14 years straight. You technically raised, you saw that cat from a little baby.
From
So
beginning to end.
yeah, from beginning to end, like the moment is like, so you will try your best to like make sure that cat will be with you forever. But then like when stuff happening, and then you keep like thinking about like, oh my God, like it's
They're
actually, I
gone.
don't know, it's actually happening. Yeah, like the that fears is like will be one of the reason why they don't want you to draw, because they don't want to lose you. Because like technically, yeah, they don't want to lose you. They want you to stay with them forever. Is how like most of the parents is, especially most of the parents, how most of the parents think that like they don't want to lose you. So that's why they don't want, because they know that the moment you commit to like the military, you will go through harsh training. You go to rough places. Like
No, there's no
you
going back. You signed a
yeah.
contract.
Like the moment
You
you sign a
no
contract,
longer have rights.
yes. Well, not really. You have right. Just don't abuse it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I said I become in the military, so but yeah, it's just like the moment that is like they think that the moment you join the military, they will like you become like in rough places, and as parents, you don't want to see your kids struggles. Like you want them to have the best thing in the world, as they should. You don't want to see them struggle. You don't want to see them like getting yelled at by someone. You don't see them getting like smoke. You don't want to see them getting like like struggle to get through all the training and stuff. You want to see them in like new places that will make them feel comfy, or then make them feel like they think that, to make them feel like yeah comfy, and then like feel safe and stuff. You know, it should, honestly
They
like
want to see you live forever. They don't want to
yes,
see the chance of death upon their child.
yes, they would rather see you live before they die than seeing you die before they live.
And I think everyone would feel that way.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, we probably feel the exact same way with our parents. We don't want to see our parents die. We would rather be the ones to die before them just so we don't have to live through that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's a very psychological thing
It
to
is.
feel.
The feelings is one of the things that will one feeling is one of the things that will like determine like how you should act in some kind of, in like certain type of situation. So like knowing how they feel is like one of the things that is like proving how like stuff going, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also like it's so bright here.
They
Sorry,
must
go
be.
ahead.
No, you're good. So, they must be happy that you transitioned to the Air Force, though.
They actually don't.
What?
Because I so so when I tell them, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in the Air Force now. I have to go to tech school again. They was like, you leaving again? What? And I was like, yeah, for my new job. It just
One,
like
I guess one of the questions I forgot to ask is, do you have any family members that were in the military at all?
I'm the first one.
You're the first.
Well, if you yeah, I'm the first one.
So
Literally.
there's not too much understanding of any of it.
No.
My
So
grandfather, he was actually part of the Vietnam era. He was
mhm,
uh, he was a Spec 5 in it, but he got out because he didn't want to go to Vietnam and die.
true.
And
It's
now here we are talking about it.
Honestly, that's so true. You know, if I stay in Vietnam, we won't be like speaking right now. So,
Right. Um, moving forward a little bit,
hmm
one of the things that you told me about before was that you came up with a little bit of an eating disorder.
well,
Could you
yes.
explain a little bit of that?
So for me, like, I am so conscious of my body. Like, like until a point, I was like, okay, like, there was a time, like, I was like, okay, I need to do like plastic surgery on like this place on my body because I was so conscious of my body, and then like especially like, I have a very bad habit of eating, of like not eating. So, so,
Do you think your
like
childhood has anything to do with it?
maybe because I when I was in very young, like I am like very underweight. Like the doctor told my mom that's like I like because how underweight I am, I could not make it unless like they forced me to eat when I was young. So there was so my body, so when I was young, I very underweight, like extremely dangerous underweight. I saw my picture when I was young, like they was rough. Like it's just like if you imagine like people who like it's literally the definition of skin and bone.
Right.
That's how that's how it was that's how I was I looked like when I was like from age one to age three. And then like I like the moment and then I growing up, like eat normal again, go to middle school. It's like it's when my puberty start and then like I just like to eat a lot because like when I hit my puberty I just like eating and then become like very obese. Like I was like 200 pounds when I was like seventh grade. I was like wearing extra large size.
Jesus Christ, I couldn't tell today.
Yeah, and then like going to like that private school. The reason why I moved back to the public school because I actually got bullied. So that bullying made me stop eating, and then so from like 200 pounds I become underweight again, and then
That's hard
like
on the body too.
it is rough. Like it's just like with like especially when you hit puberty and then your body is like constantly changing and then like the moment you wake up like go up and down like in like that it's rough for your mental and it's rough for your physical like when moved back from like the private school like I was technically skin and bone again because I don't eat anything and then it was like because we live in dorm in that private school I just like stopped eating because like it's not the food is not even an appetite to me anymore.
And this is now in college?
So that was back in middle school, and now in college
Okay.
is um. So for college is I get sick a lot. Like, and when I get sick, I stop eating because I don't feel like eating. Like
Last
beginning
thing
of
you want is uncomfort.
true, like beginning of this year, I sick, and then so I was like so conscious of my body is like been going on for years now. Like I'm kind of being good with it right now, but still at some point of my time, like some point of the time, I'll be like, okay, like I hate my body, like stuff like that, and then I want to do something about it, and then I was like, I want to be skinnier, and then and then I kind of like work myself out so that I won't have to think about it. But because of working myself too hard is like going to work constantly, like constantly doing something else, and I just forgot to stop eating. I just forgot to eat and just stop eating completely, and it's like like damaging my body. I just constantly stop eating, and then I don't even feel full. I don't even feel hungry when
You're
when
in a fasted state. You're in a state
yeah
of ketosis.
yeah I just like yeah constantly stop eating until like the summer come, and then like when I move back home, my mom technically force feed me again to make like I don't look like a like walking skeleton. Is then I kind of like being normal in eating again until like recently, recently I have a habit of not eating again from like being sick for like I'm from being like having a fever for a week straight, and then I just like stop eating again because I don't feel like eating anymore again. So now I used to be 157 2 months ago, and now I'm 140. I just
Well, one of the other questions I was going to ask, the
Mhm.
audience doesn't know this, but you do wrestling in college. Now,
I do. Yeah.
how does that transition? Because I'm sure your coach must get pretty angry at you.
Yeah, okay, so I actually feel so bad for my coach right now because he actually worked with me on base. So, I feel very bad because because my health right now is like very like I would say it's good, but at the same time it's not very fitting for like wrestling. My endurance is not there anymore after I become like so sick of like having a fever. And my endurance is not there anymore. Stop, like I just don't feel hungry anymore, so I have no more energy to do anything. Yeah, it's just like, and especially with wrestling, you need a lot of movement, a lot of endurance, and a lot of
Oh,
like making
yeah,
decisions.
you get tired, you're done. You lose.
Yeah, so that's why I've been stopped going to wrestling practice because I feel like my body is not able to like catching up with all these stuff that I need to do. So like I literally just I like I stopped eating. I stopped going to the gym. Like I have no energy because my body doesn't make me feel hungry.
Now,
So
what would you tell yourself? If you were to be
I
able to literally like look at yourself face to face and you hear yourself saying all of this,
yeah,
what would you tell?
now,
Yeah,
like
like say everything you just said. I just said that to you. What would you tell me?
yeah, like honestly, like I have a vow to like learn how to love myself. And like I will make sure like even though like right now it's a rough time because it's just like everything is like back from beginning again. Like I actually like was so sad because all my muscle strength because I stopped going to the gym, I stopped eating and then provide my protein for myself. Like honestly, like a lot of time when I look into the mirror with my shirt off, I just like become like very disappointed. And I was like, okay, like all my effort is gone. Like my body is gone because like I got sick and stuff, and now like I don't even have the motivation to do it again. So it's not right now. Like if I like I most right now like when going back to the gym slowly and then going slowly getting back to my pace, and then like I just tell myself like every time I go to the gym, every time I don't feel like going to the gym, and I would tell myself like yeah, like I would tell myself like, so would you rather sleep for like 19 hour an hour? Would you rather go to the gym for like an hour, do exercise and feel amazing after? Because I always tell myself like because what if you're so conscious about your body, why don't you do something to make it look better instead of like laying down and do nothing?
Have you ever read the book Lost Connections by Joanne Harry?
Not yet, but I think I heard a lot of people reading about it. I haven't got a chance to get
I
close to it yet.
I highly recommend it. One of the
Hmm.
things that he talks about within it is the act of doing things as a community instead of doing
Hmm.
things alone.
Yes.
Uh, Um, it's way later, like closer to the end of the book. It covers a
Yes.
lot of detail. It covers the placebo effect within how antidepressant pharmaceutical companies never took the placebo effect into consideration, and
Hmm.
how they only advertise certain information from the research and not all information, and then the only way you could get all the information is by going through the FDA because they by law have to tell them everything. But at the end
Hmm.
of the book, it talks about how all these depressed people couldn't even bear leaving their house anymore, gain all this weight, was depressed, suicidal, and how it took someone to be able to just pull them out. Like it's not a matter of like go outside. Going outside just even if they did the action, it wouldn't fix the action. But doing
Hmm.
it within a community made a difference to allow them to not only perform an action, but actually enjoy the action and gain the truthful dopamine and healing from it. Do you think
True.
you would feel differently if you were to have a
Honestly,
partner going through everything together?
oh yeah, definitely because like when you, it's hard to motivate yourself. Like for me, for me, like specifically, like when I go to the gym, I like to have a gym partner. I like when I like the reason why I like because I can like have my gym partner like spot me or like just have like a mini conversation like while we're working out, just make it fun a little bit because like when I do something, I like to make it fun, and having a gym partner like will make the workout much better. Um, and then like it's really hard for me to motivate myself sometimes because like I
It's
said,
psychologically different.
yeah, it is like, and also all the unconscious, all the conscious about my everything kind of make it worse a little bit. So like having someone there to say, hey, like let's go to the gym together, and then like like come over to like you don't have to do anything to come over and have fun because like for me like my for me like when I saw the gym, I remember my first time to the gym was like in AIT, and then I go with my friend, and then he was like, oh yeah, you don't have to start and you don't have to do anything, and then like just there to spot me, and I was like, okay. So we went to the gym, and I saw him do some of the exercise, and I was like, okay, that's kind of look fun. Can I try to do it? And then like
Your
that's when,
necklace keeps making us shine.
sorry, it's real. I'm just kidding, it's fake, but yeah. So that's how I started going to like the gym more because like it's it's more of like the influence of someone else on me to give me motivation than myself being motivation technically. Like I like for me like having a gym partner for me is like one of the things that I really love the most. Of going to gym because like it's just not it's like when you
It's
go
not
there,
going to the gym, it's a matter of being with people.
yeah, it's the matter of being social and like working out together. And especially like when you go to the gym, you will see a different type of body. Like you will see body that's like you see that like people who has amazing bodies, and you will like see people who have like your body. You see people who have the worst body than you. Like it's it's just like when you there and you see with like different type of people, you won't feel as lonely as much when you have a gym partner. For me, at least.
Right.
And then like it's also having a gym partner is nice too because like you can always have someone to like motivate you, and then like going like make you feel like not wanting to stay in bed the whole day. Like it just make you like having give you a purpose to like going out and actually do something than just like staying at home.
Now, why didn't you just stay with the music side and go in a band instead of going into wrestling?
So schedule conflicts, honestly. Like I stopped doing marching band because of schedule conflict, and wrestling. Like I've been wanting to do more sport, and wrestling is one of the sport that on my list to do because I never really learned how to self defense. So wrestling would be like a great way for me to learn how to self defense myself. And yeah, and then honestly, like my goal this year was stay more active. So wrestling is kind of one of the things that keep me staying active this year.
Well,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I mean, being physically active is better on the mental health
Hmm.
altogether.
Oh yeah, it's just like 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 when you get out from the gym, that's feeling when you finish all your exercise, the adrenaline rush is one of the best thing.
So, before fully wrapping this up,
Hmm.
what would you tell someone who just barely came to the United States and they're looking for some kind of direction?
So when you came to like when you came to America, stay with your family. Um, I don't know if it's gonna be your distant family, or I don't know if it's gonna be like family that you make along the way. But stay with your family first. Like when I say stay, that's mean like stay connected with your family first because that would be the place you feel comfortable first.
Even
And
if
then
you're not living close to them, at least like talk to them over the phone.
Yeah, talk to them over the phone or like with the family you staying with, stay connected to them because they will be like the place you will go back at the end of the day when you're
Yeah.
here. So when you and then like when and then like the more longer you stay here and you will got to experience the culture in the new place and then like your body and your institution will let you know um when it's time for you to like actually step up and then be more adventurous and start reaching out more of like start reaching out more of the new thing that you want to try. Honestly, for me, I like to do I want to try out everything. So be bold, like be adventurous, like go out from your limits sometime to try out yourself because like what you gonna lose? Like the worst thing you can do is like you don't like it and then you just drop it. You know? Like what there's nothing to be lost. Like don't be afraid to actually do something, to actually try something because like if you keep being afraid of like trying new things, you technically will never get to experience it. And
Right.
then you never
One
get actually live in it.
one of the I don't know if you listened to the first podcast I had, but one of the things we covered is the fact that so many people are afraid of the idea of starting over. One of
Mm-hmm.
the things I brought up as an analogy is life is like a video game.
Mm,
You can literally just start over. You fail, start over.
true. Like that's one thing I learned growing up is like people are afraid of changes. And some changes and honestly it's good to have changes sometimes. Some changes need to be made, but some changes doesn't need to. For my family, like I'm technically the one who's like I'm technically the change in my family, like joining military, having piercing, like having tattoo, like and stuff like that, being gay, um, like going psychology major, like I'm like the changes, like when those and then when those changes happen, I see the fears in their eyes, and then like and that's okay. Change is scary sometimes. I change is scary for me too. But some of the changes that need to be made to make you be better
Oh
in
yeah.
who you are. And don't and then it's really depending on how you see about it. If you think those changes is good for you to change, completely do it. If you think those changes is not good, you don't have to do it. But the thing that I also learned is that like from your eyes, you think those changes is not good, but from other people's eyes, you think those changes is good. If you work with them, trying to meet them halfway instead of like trying to prove your point to them, because it's not really like
Having
when
having communication with them.
yeah, like it's like there's no point for you to fight over someone just because you think their opinion is wrong. Like, if you think your opinion is right, maybe it's in someone else's mind, it's wrong, and that's totally okay. It's a normal human basic like thingy. But the thing that you can do when you move into America or like move into a different country is like when you see something that is wrong, maybe it's right to them because that's how they would like that the culture they're living in or like the culture living in because your culture the culture you live in or like you used to live in is completely the one that they was raising up from. So there will be conflict between you, but as long as you know what is good and what is wrong, or like as long as you being cooperative and then meet them halfway, not the one who's not like the illegal thing, but like like the stuff that is like actually like good. Um, yeah, just it's really depending on how. It's also like for me, like I'm very open minded, and that's one of the things that's like helped me out a lot with like fitting in because I'm very like open minded. I'm like accept like criticism, like accept like changes and stuff, but at the same time, like don't let those changes change who you are. The only thing that should not be changed is yourself. You cannot let lose yourself when you move into a new experience because at the end of the day, technically all you have is yourself. So you have to treasure it.
Can
Technically,
I
yeah.
try to say and correct me for
Hmm.
the if I'm wrong, just correct me.
Okay.
I'll try to change your 200 words down to 30 words.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
Sorry, seven
no, no,
essay.
no, no, no. You're good. You're good.
Oh,
So what I'm getting at is don't be afraid to actually be yourself.
hmm.
As for those around you, it's up to them to accept you into being yourself, though also respect those around you, especially including your family, your parents,
Hmm.
when they may not understand who you wish to be, but
Hmm.
respect that they don't understand and attempt to meet them halfway so you could guide them in the direction of who you wish to become.
Well, I agree with most of it. It's just the part that like you should not be expecting anyone to accept you because the world is not that perfect. There
I
will be a.
it, I'm a pretty extreme person, and
Mhm.
I'm not saying that in a political
Yeah, yeah,
way.
I know
I'm
what you mean. Trust me.
yeah,
No, I
I
mean
try to
like,
give like the PG version. I didn't give
yeah,
the version that I live in myself.
I got you. Um, so yeah, so people doesn't have to accept you because like the world is not working perfectly that way. There will be people accept you, and there will be people who is not accept you. Go. It's not your. It's not really your job to make people accept you. It's your job to show people that this is you. So if you accept me, good. If you don't accept me, well, too bad. Then I don't want to associate with anything with you.
And
Like one of the.
that's a matter of, and it's not even a trying to be rude. It's not trying to be rude
No,
at
no, no, no,
all.
no, no, no. I
It's
completely
it's
understand where you're
it's
from.
it's a matter of listen. Do you want me to be fake for you, or do you want
Hmm.
me?
True.
Do you
Like,
want someone fake or do you want me?
just be real. Honestly, from technically my key point from like the like 2000 word speech was like be real, be you, open minded, and be open minded, and always knowing that there will always be someone disappointed you, but the best you can do is like learning learning like where they from.
Yeah.
It's like like technically like learn to see like what shoe they talk like what shoe they walking in technically. Yeah, walking in that shoe technically, and then like honestly like be respectful. And then if they don't be if they being disrespectful to you, just honestly don't even bother associate with them because for me like if someone being disrespectful to me, I would rather use the
It's a
I
waste
would
of
rather
energy to
yeah,
entertain
it's
it.
so wasteful of energy and time. Like instead of using those energy and time to try come up the way to being disrespectful to bad, you can do so much. You can do so much different other stuff.
You could spend 40 hours trying to make a podcast that doesn't make a single penny out of it.
That's
Instead
true.
of.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Like you can
um,
literally. Hmm.
yeah. Well, Kevin, I highly enjoyed this. Do you want me to. Do you want any information on where people could reach you at all?
Um. Yeah. So. Yeah. You can put my snap and my Instagram.
Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, no Facebook.
You can put my Facebook in. I don't really mind, honestly. Like
Okay.
I just have.
It's gonna be down below, you guys, if you made it this far and enjoyed our conversations. Um,
Yeah. Like, I
Kevin,
enjoy the talk here. So.
oh dude, this was great. It was
Mhm.
fantastic, and thank you for giving me your time.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Yeah, I am honestly when the moment you sent me out like the email and I was like, he finally did it. It's been a year. I low key thought you forgot about me until you sent me the email and I was like, oh. actually finally happening. It's
Oh
you
yeah.
know like the scene from like The Office. It's like, oh my god, everyone's calm down. It's finally happening. Everyone stay calm. That
Right.
was
No.
me.
No, I enjoy the support. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, as for you, if you have any friends who's interested in coming on the show or want to talk about different things, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
I will talk to anyone. Um, yeah, but thanks again, Kevin.
Sweet. Thank you for having me.
Be good.
Thank you.